Hey guys, it's Jen. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another meal prep video. This week I really wanted to challenge myself to do a meal prep in just 1 hour. So in this video you will see enough snacks, breakfasts, and lunches for me for 4 days of the work week. I'm going to be making breakfasts as well as some roasted salmon with mango salsa, a sweet kale salad with chicken, and some little fruit cups along with yogurt. So come along with me as we see if we can get this all done in 1 hour. And I did time myself just to show you guys that I did actually do this all in 1 hour. And I want to communicate to you that meal prep does not have to be complicated or time consuming. Now, like I said, I just did this for 1 serving just for me, but you could easily increase the quantities of this and not add very much time to your prep at all. I'm starting out by preheating the oven to 450 degrees to roast my proteins, my chicken and my salmon. And this is the seasoning that I'm going to be using. I'm using the garlic herb seasoning for the chicken breast and the mesquite lime seasoning for the salmon. So I have some baking trays here. I'm going to be baking my salmon and my chicken on 2 different trays because they will cook at different times. I like to use foil and cooking spray to make sure that my meat does not stick to the pan. I have 2 salmon fillets here that I just thawed out. I had these in the freezer. I am putting a little bit of olive oil on there, and then I'm sprinkling on that mesquite lime seasoning from Fresh Jack's. If you guys have watched my channel before, you have heard me talk about them. I use a ton of their spices for different things in the kitchen, and I would totally recommend them. This video isn't sponsored or anything, but I do like to use a lot of their products and share that with you guys. There is a coupon code in the description box below if you're interested in trying any of them out. I thought that the garlic herb would go well on the chicken because I'm going to be pairing that with a sweet kale salad, and then the mesquite lime went really well with the salmon. I think really anything that's citrus flavored goes well with seafood. So with my chicken, I'm doing the same thing, just drizzling them with a little bit of olive oil and salt, and then I'm sprinkling on some of that garlic herb seasoning as well. The thing that I like about this seasoning is that it doesn't have salt in it, so I can add my own amount of salt to my taste. So here are the proteins just before they go into the oven. While I'm waiting for the oven to preheat, I'm going to start boiling some water for my rice. So I just have some water in a saucepan there. I'm going to add probably about a cup of rice along with a pat of butter and some salt, and I'm going to get that boiling. So there's a couple different things you want to keep in mind if you're trying to do a quick meal prep like I am today, and that is that you definitely have to multitask. So while some items are cooking, then you should be working on other items, and also keep in mind that if you want to get your meal prep done quickly, that you may not be able to make everything from scratch. You may have to use some convenience items, and I will actually be using some prepackaged egg bites for my breakfast meal preps in this video. So what I have here is a little mini dash waffle maker, and I ordered this specifically to make these little hash brown patties with. I have some shredded hash browns. These are just the kind that you can find in the freezer. I set them out in the fridge overnight to thaw out. They work much better that way in the waffle iron, and then I just put about half a cup of them on a waffle iron that I sprayed with cooking spray and seasoned them with salt and pepper and smashed them down and cook them till they're crispy. Now the oven is preheated, so I'm going to go ahead and pop my proteins in. I have this set at 450 degrees, and I'm going to set the timer for 12 minutes, which is how long it will take this salmon to cook. So you can see here that my hash browns are a little bit crispy. I probably should have let them go a little bit more because you'll see here when I try to take it out, I struggle a little bit with it falling apart. The longer you leave your hash brown patty in there, the better it, or the crispier it will be, and the easier it will be to pull out. So again, while those hash brown patties were cooking one after the other, I went ahead and started on a different component of the meal prep. So I thought it would be really good to make a fresh mango salsa to go with the salmon and the rice. I had a few mangoes left to use up, and if you guys have never tried mango salsa before, it is so delicious. It's really, really good with either seafood or chicken and rice. It's just a really fresh combination. And so I am cutting up one of my mangoes here. I'm going to end up mixing that with some chopped pepper and shallot and cilantro. You can use any vegetables that you like to in this mango salsa. I happen to have this orange bell pepper in the refrigerator, and so I went ahead and cut that up. Usually I would use red bell pepper because I think it makes a really good contrast, the red with the yellow mango. But honestly, they pretty much taste the same. So I wasn't about to go out and buy, a red bell pepper specifically for this. Next to the mango salsa, I'm going to add one jalapeno that I'm mincing finely. I'm choosing not to include the seeds just because I didn't want it to be too spicy, but that's definitely a personal preference. You could add that if you wanted to. I also wanted to mention on the waffle iron that I showed a little bit earlier, I did order that on Amazon, so I'll link that down below along with any of the other kitchen tools and supplies that you see me using in this video. I always make sure to link as many of those as I can to save you guys the trouble of hunting them down yourselves or asking me questions in the comments. It's just easier that way and more convenient for you guys. So I'm also adding the juice of one lime, and time check, we are at 25 minutes. The salmon is done, so I just pop that out of the oven, and then the chicken is going to continue to cook for about another 6 minutes. My rice is also done. I still need to drain that, so I'm just letting that sit there while I finish the salsa. I have an herb garden on my back deck, which is super convenient during the summer. It means I have basically fresh herbs on demand. So I went out there, snipped some cilantro off quick, and chopped that up and put it in the salsa as well. I'm also adding a shallot. Typically I add red onion to this salsa. You could use that. You could use green onion as well. Whatever you have on hand would definitely work. I had some shallots in the pantry that I needed to use up. This one was almost gone. There were a few parts of it I had to cut out and throw away, but I didn't want to waste it if I didn't have to. So I kind of just cut out the parts that were still good and pop those into the salsa. Okay, so next I'm going to work on washing up my berries. So I have 1 pound of strawberries and a pint of blueberries that I'm going to be washing up and putting in jars to meal prep for the week. These will most likely be for snacks with some yogurt. So I washed my strawberries in some vinegar, drained those out, and then I'm just using the same water to rinse off my blueberries. Make sure that if you're going to cut up strawberries and store them for the week, that you dry them off really well. Otherwise, they may get moldy if they're too wet and they sit in the fridge for too long. So here I am struggling again with this hash brown. I don't know what it was about this particular day, but I had such a hard time keeping these hash brown patties together. Most of the time, they don't do that. So I'm not sure what was up with that, but either way they still taste the same. These are going to go in some glass meal prep containers along with the egg bites. And then here is my chicken. I roasted that at 350 for 18 minutes. Don't worry about the browned bits on the cookie sheet. That doesn't hurt anything. Okay, so I'm draining my rice and I'm going to let that cool a little bit before I get that into the containers, and then I'm going back to finish my mango salsa. So I'm adding a little bit of salt and pepper and a drizzle of honey. That is totally optional, but you can add that if you want it to be a little bit sweeter. Definitely give it a taste and see if it needs any more seasoning. And then I'm just putting it into these little cups. I think these are 4-ounce cups. I get them on Amazon and they are super convenient for meal prep. You can put cottage cheese in them or fruit or salsa, and they just make transporting food a lot easier. even if you aren't going to work, like I am now, I'm working some from home. It's still very convenient to have your meals prepped for the week. I just find that I eat a lot healthier when I have things ready for me in the refrigerator. So these egg bites are actually from Costco. I've seen different brands at different grocery stores. So you can definitely find, what you can find in your area as far as these egg bites go. If you can't find them, you could make your own. I have a video for copycat Starbucks egg bites. I can link down below. Otherwise, I've seen these at Aldi as well, and I thought they were just super convenient to be able to add to my prep containers along with the hash browns. So this is my favorite breakfast combination recently, is one of those egg bites along with a hash brown patty and some cottage cheese. The combination I think is really good. If you don't care for cottage cheese, you could leave that out and add another egg bite. It's just up to you and what your preference is. Okay, so now that my rice is done cooling, I went ahead and scooped that into a couple of glass meal prep containers, and then I'm going to carefully peel the skin off of one side of my salmon and get that into those bowls with the rice. Whenever I do meal prep, if it's something that I'm going to heat up in the microwave, I prefer to put it in a glass container. And if it's something that I don't have to heat up, then I'll put it in plastic. So next I'm going to prep my fruit. So I just have some of the strawberries here. I did not end up using the whole pound for this particular meal prep, but I did go ahead and cut them all up. And then I just put the extra ones in the refrigerator for my kids to eat. I really like prepping fruit salad in these little glass ball jars. I'll link them down below along with the plastic lids that I use for them. I just think that storing things in glass jars like this keeps things so fresh. It's really pretty to look at in the fridge, and it helps you see what's inside the container, which actually helps me, honestly, to see what's in my fridge and eat it. I was sad that I didn't have enough jars. The rest of mine were in the microwave, so I had to use one plastic cup too, which is why I kind of have an odd one out there. I am piling some blueberries on top of the strawberries, and I think I've shared this in a video before, but I've been really trying to encourage myself to eat more fresh fruit. I'm someone that really likes vegetables, but I am not always the biggest fan of fruit. But if I have it prepped like that, ready to eat in the fridge, it makes it much easier and much more appealing for me to eat it during the week. I have 2 chicken breasts here. That's all I'm going to prep up for these meals, but you know that I prepped 4, so the other ones are just going in the fridge for someone else to eat during the week. For the salad, I'm using these divided meal prep containers, which are very convenient for snack boxes or meals like this. To make this meal prep super easy, I am using this sweet kale chopped salad that I got from Aldi. This is really, really good if you like kale, and it's really awesome with the chicken paired with it as well. You could use any type of bagged salad, but especially trying to keep this meal prep within 1 hour, it was important that I use, some convenience items like this. So I'm just putting half of the salad in each of the meal prep containers, and then I'll also portion out the toppings on top of that. So this comes with some sunflower seeds and some dried cranberries. So I just sprinkled those on top, dividing them evenly among the meal prep containers. And then it also comes with a packet of dressing. I used some smaller dressing cups to divide that up and put it into the container so I can have an equal amount of dressing with each one. Definitely feel free to substitute any type of bagged salad that you'd like for this method. I also think that Caesar salad would be really good like this too. So I thought that I needed something extra on the side with this salad and chicken. So I had some pita bread in the refrigerator. I'm just going to cut that up into wedges and put that into the meal prep containers. And I'll also put a cheese stick in there as well. If you did not have that, you could do cheese and crackers. So that is it, guys. We made it 55 minutes and 24 seconds is all it took us to make this sort of semi-homemade meal prep. Here is the sweet kale salad with the chicken and the dressing and the pita and the cheese stick. We also made the hash brown patties with the egg bites and the cottage cheese. These reheat really well, and I always look forward to eating them at breakfast throughout the week. We also made the roasted salmon with that Fresh Jack's mesquite lime seasoning with some rice and some mango salsa. This is probably my favorite meal prep out of this bunch. I just love the contrast of like the warm salmon and rice with the cold mango salsa. It's so delicious. And then we also prepped some nice fresh and healthy fruit salad with strawberries and blueberries and some yogurt to go on the side. So this is enough food to last me for 4 days for breakfast, snack, and lunches. And I hope this gave you some ideas to meal prep for yourself. I just want to make sure that you guys know that it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be complicated. Definitely think about how you can take some help from the store for your own meal prep and just make it easier for you to get healthy food in your fridge so that you're set to go for the week. Thanks you guys so much for watching. I have a ton of meal prep videos on my channel. I have 2 right here on the screen on the right hand side if you want to click on either of these and watch more meal prep. Otherwise, I will see you in my next video. Bye.